One of the things that I don't think people talk about when they're doing intuitive healing on TikTok is the scary side of it. And it's not because energy needs to be feared, it's just because these are weird experiences. These are not experiences that everyone has. And if you haven't been an intuitive before, you are not going to be mentally and emotionally prepared to be like, oh yeah, it's totally normal. I went to sleep and I felt something at the end of my bed and I don't know what to do with it. Or I felt something grab my feet. Is that a good omen? Is that a bad omen? Not sure how to handle this. So when this started happening, when I started opening up to the mediumship side of things, I got flooded with visitations, and it was incredibly unnerving and disorienting, and it was frankly really scary. It was this sense of like, I know logically I'm safe in my physical space, but I truly don't know if I'm safe in my energetic space. And when your energetic space is not safe, when it's not grounded, when it doesn't have firm boundaries, that is not the right time to be practicing energy or intuition work. It is, and I feel like really firmly about this because I've had way too many experiences where I've kind of pushed through and said like, no, it's totally fine. Don't worry. Look at this really cool thing that I can do. I'll go for it. And then you come out of it being like, no, that didn't feel okay. That my soul didn't feel safe. I feel really unnerved. When you do intuitive healing, when you work with an intuitive healer, if you are the practitioner or if you are the client, you need to feel safe. If something in your gut says, I don't like this, I don't resonate with it, please end the session. Like, I cannot be any clearer. End the session. If it doesn't align, if something feels weird, if the vibes are off, please leave. You can always come back to the table at a time where you feel safer, or you can find a different practitioner that you feel more comfortable with. Your physical body, your mental and emotional state is trying to tell you what feels right and good for you. And the best thing that you can do when it comes to doing intuitive work, whether you are practicing it or you're working with someone, is lean into your own instincts first. And that's mainly because when you interact with somebody who is incredibly energetic or someone who practices energy work for a living, their energy, once it starts mixing with yours, it changes how you can read your signals. It might even suppress some of your own natural signals to the point where you can't feel them anymore. If you watch my previous video about Reiki, you've known that I had the experience where someone sent me a head treatment in Reiki, which is like a very common practice, but they gave me their like hopes and dreams for me. They didn't blank out their own mind and allow the universal energy to flow through. So I was gifted somebody else's memories. I left there feeling really confused and really shaken up and saying like, I don't know if this is mine. I don't know if this is meant for me. I also don't know, like, should I go after this? The same thing can happen if you work with anybody who's like teaching you manifestation. I set a boundary with myself that if I'm teaching a client how to manifest, I do not activate my own energy with them. I guide them into it. I help them decipher their own signals, but I do not move my energetic field anywhere remotely close to theirs, because I never want someone to come out of a manifestation being like, well, I could feel something else in there and it felt like it was mixing and it felt like it was giving me ideas about what I want for my life. Your manifestations, your energy work, your intuition, that is all of your own. You should never have someone or something else mixing with it. And you need to be really firm about about who you trust, if you trust them, why you trust them, and if there's a time in your mentorship or your journey with a teacher where that needs to come to an end.